But yeah, on to ReZero because we watched all three of those episodes though.
Yo, ReZero's fucking lit though.
Yeah, it's okay.
ReZero's like Game of Thrones level with the fucking surprises.
Yeah, I think it's better than One Piece.
Yeah. You think everything's better than One Piece? Shut the fuck up.
Not everything.
Everything we talk about, it's like definitely better than One Piece.
Not everything we talk about.
Mm. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergy, the shop. I'm your host, Synergy. With me, my co-host, as always, every day, every week, every hour, and Herbe.
What up?
Hey, how you doing, Herbie?
I'm doing swell today.
Doing swell. Hey, what's up, man? What you up to?
Unusual over here, making it do what it do, baby.
I kind of feel like your flavor is better than mine, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you mine first. Cool?
Sure thing, boss hog.
Damn. All right, my flavor is coming out of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it is when Yuji asks for a retrial. The whatever the fucking spirit thingy is. Excuse me. Whatever the
Shikigami.
yeah, sure.
That's what it is. A Shikigami.
Is it?
Yep.
It's when it asked him about the murders that just happened in that one incident where they were trying to rescue Gojo.
Yes,
And
the Shibuya incident.
mm-hmm. And Yuji was just like, "Yep, I did it. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not running from it." I
Yeah.
like that. I don't know why I like that, but I liked it.
Well, he didn't kill nobody though, so
He didn't, but he feels
no.
like he did.
Yeah, loser.
Damn.
But anyhow, um, yeah, I had quite a few. One that struck me as funny was when Goku was like, yeah,
Super
if you
freaky
eat this,
mode.
yeah, freaky face mode.
Freaky eyebrow mode.
Yeah.
Which he has no
So,
room to fucking talk because of his Super Saiyan 3 form.
yeah, when was the last time he used that though? Other
When he
than
was
at the
fighting
start of the
Beerus.
series.
Actually,
I
no, no,
said
no,
it.
no, 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 no. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Liar. He used it in the Tournament of Power.
I don't even remember that.
So, like, when he first went Ultra Instinct and lost all his stamina, he was fighting Kefla and going through the Super Saiyans as the stamina, he regained stamina, which was really weird. Like, you're regaining stamina to transform again while you're using a transformation, like the highest transformation you can at the level. So, how are you still accumulating enough energy to go to a higher transformation? But he went from 1 to 2 to 3, back down to 2, back up to 3, and then to God, I think. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah. No, anyhow, that was my moment. One of the moments. I had some other ones, honorable mentions. I just decided to go with that one because they're all equally funny to me. But yeah,
Vegeta got all
so
butthurt. It's Ultra Ego.
you fool's ultra ego. But yeah, so I guess we can start off with Super then. Uh,
Hey.
chapter 78, Gaseous Wish. So, so yeah,
I mean,
it
really, all that happened this chapter was Gas wished the same thing that Granola wished for, and therefore Gas became the strongest in the universe by presumably aging. It looks like he used the less of his life because he just like grew up. I don't know the terms and condition of Gas's wish, but really, I think he's only winning because everyone's gassed.
yeah, that too. Um, maybe they did it based off of him not being Well, because they all, I guess they all lost stamina, and Granola was supposed to be the strongest, but if he lost so much stamina, then that's probably his strength is a little bit less than the stamina that he lost.
Mm-hmm.
So that could
Now,
be it too.
now Goku decides he's gonna stall this guy because Vegeta has one more sense of being, and Goku being the considerate person sometimes that he is, was like, I already had one, so you go find your armor and eat the other one, and then you can take him with your freaky eyebrow mode.
Yeah, yeah. Some other stuff too was you find the backstory how Granola he didn't know that they actually killed his parents. Well, killed his mother, and he was working for him the whole time because what's his name? Gas or somebody thought no, Elect thought he would be a great specimen to have because he made a name for a bounty hunter,
Mm-hmm.
and
And he was
so
still a kid too.
yeah, he's still a little kid. So yeah, that happens, and Granola's all mad, upset about that. But they're like, "You did what you had to do to live." And then what happens is Gas he hits my man with a spear that like pins Granola to like 4 points of his body to a little wall thing. I was like, man. And then he weights down Goku and is getting ready to slice him up, and Granola gets free. That was cool. But yeah, other than that, nothing really happened. Vegeta got the Sinjin Bean and gave it to Granola so he could fight. That was surprising turn of events. I was like, oh man.
Like they're
I
really
was like,
pushing
good guy
Vegeta's like
Vegeta.
redemption. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been
So I
trying to
was like,
push it since like the Tournament of Power, I think.
before then, it's
Uh,
been
I don't know if they were pushing it in Dragon Ball Z per se.
yeah, they was because because what happened was he made the wish. He was like, yeah, make sure all the good people come back, and then he lost his halo and got reborn. So I was like, oh okay, because you think about it, he gave his life so that he could stop the monstrosity of Boo that he actually helped create. So it kind of started there.
Yeah, I mean, but like the weird thing is he only really did it so he can fight Goku. He didn't really care
Yeah,
about Boo.
yeah, he didn't, but he tried to stop Boo though. So and then yeah, and if you think about it too, when he did the whole Earthlings need to fight for themselves and shouldn't depend on us. That scene too was one of the ones where he kind of was like, yeah, you guys gotta save yourself. Pretty much what he did with Granola here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a long time. It's more prevalent now versus back then, or you have more
The problem
definitive.
with that is they're the reasons people keep showing up.
Yeah, they're gonna show up anywhere they go though.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't even matter. But yeah. So yeah, that's it for Super. Not much there.
Stay tuned next month for Granola versus Gas.
Yeah, that should be a nice one.
And then I'm sure
Now,
Goku will find a way to win this fight.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't write these things. But yeah, so I guess do a quick synopsis of Boruto because I'm sure you didn't read it.
No, didn't read it. Here's
Damn,
getting
you
good
never
though.
read it. Oh yeah, it's been good. You just refuse to give stuff a chance because you have your mind made up on
Give
things.
stuff a chance. Refuse to give stuff a chance, sir. I read up to what fucking episode was I did I leave off on?
Oh, I ain't
I
watching. It's better to read, my dude.
I was reading. I was reading with you until I stopped.
Yeah.
Where is
Terrible.
Boruto? Here it is. I read up
You,
to chapter 60, 60. Chapter 60.
mm-hmm. Well, you 9 episodes behind.
No, I'm not, because there's only 64 chapters out.
I know. I was making a facetious point.
Mm.
But anyhow, quick synopsis. Somehow Boruto is able to control himself while using Momoshiki's power. But somehow it's kind of like I can equate it to having a somewhat of a nine tails. Um, because he uses his power, but it's not all the way his power yet. So there's like, yeah, Code's like, that's interesting that you have that power and you're still a vessel. And they fight, and Code uses his teleportation technique on Boruto's body, which was cool because he like came out with the claws, and he like stopped the shadow clones from hitting him and stuff. It's nice looking fight. Um, but somehow the meds that he was taking allowed him to fight off Momoshiki, and my man Shikamaru's joining the fight because he's like, Naruto, we have to go too. We can't since you don't have Kurama anymore, just can't let you go out. So yeah, then we find a little bit more about Code's technique. It's physical chakra mixed with his blood. So like Boruto can't actually absorb it in that form. So that was cool. Learned that.
Now, I read a little something about Naruto using Sage Mode and saying he can last a little longer in Sage Mode now.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, and here was my thing before. Since he made friends with Kurama, and now since he's missing Kurama, can't he just do what Jiraiya did with the two Elder Toads?
He can, but that was the reason why Jiraiya used the toads was because he couldn't really gather the energy for that
No,
without.
no, no. It was because you can't gather it while you're fighting.
Yeah, that too, but he was better apt at like he never really got that form down, is what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah, no,
Naruto
but
has a
like
better
Naruto,
mastery.
yeah, like Naruto can definitely utilize the two Toads now.
He could, but he it I don't see why though, because he could just use the sage energy like he's been doing.
Well, that's so like he can. It's basically so he can just stay in that form throughout the whole fight, so it's not timed.
Yeah, but still, at this point, it doesn't really make a difference.
Well, without Kurama, I think it would make all the difference. Like you would need Sage
Nah,
Mode to make up the difference.
nah. Boy, Naruto got it. He know
Bruh.
what he doing.
Yeah, you're so rebellious.
Nah, he know what he
What do you
doing.
mean, bro? Naruto took a huge power hit. Like he needs Sage Mode. Like he cannot do regular shit.
He got sage mode.
That's what I'm saying. Like he needs like the permanent access of Sage Mode.
Nah, my boy know what he doing.
Oh my god. All right, moving on.
And who to say that them frogs still alive? Hmm.
Listen, if the older frog that came up with the prophecy was still alive, I'm sure those two are still alive too.
What if he's not? What if they're all dead? What if someone came there and wiped them all out because they're like, we don't want Naruto getting that sage mode
Those
like
are
that.
unknowns,
So,
unknowns. Right now, as far as we know, because they haven't shown or told about them dying, that they're alive and he can use them.
but since we haven't seen them, how can we be sure that they're actually alive?
Because anyone who's dead, we've seen them die.
Not always.
Oh my god. Good. Just proceed. Proceed. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, so Naruto goes into sage mode and locates Boruto, which he should have did when he first disappeared. I don't know why they waited 3 chapters to do this. Then Boruto faints after fighting Code with Kawaki. Don't know what's happening, but yeah. So that's it.
Mm. Alrighty. So what do we got left? Chosen. I'll do a little recap on Chosen, I guess. Chapter 3 of Chosen
Well,
was kind of just it was really nothing special. It was like a guy, um, what was it? Tokyo.
hmm?
What was his name? Tokyo.
Tokyo.
he's like still trying to adjust to like having his face, and his friend was like, "Yo, you can't go to school until you like revert back to normal." So he's like, he pretended to have a fever to get a few days off, but he was worried about the his friend because he wasn't answering his phone. And when he went over and he was asking what he should do, and the friend flipped on him for no reason. It was just like, just go and figure shit out yourself for once. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm pathetic. I just
Uh,
wanted to make
yeah, he
sure you're
said, "Worry
okay.
about yourself."
And he
Yeah,
was just like, I just wanted your help, but I hope you feel better, or like I'm glad you're doing better. Bye, and goes away. And like the guy kind of like apologizes to him to himself because like he doesn't say it to him, but he says it. He's like, I'm sorry, and like they start thinking about what he said, like this can't get out that you became a Chosen, and like how you became a Chosen might get the wrong people looking. So we flash forward to the long neck guy, and the guy that gave him the three syringes, I guess he was questioning where the other two went, and he's like, I'm not gonna become more scum by talking to you. I can already tell you're gonna kill me anyway. And he ends up killing him, and boom. Now we're just left with thinking in chapter 4 or 5, Tokyo is gonna figure out how to look normal.
yeah.
Maybe.
I also did think it was Azuma was it was curious. Like I had a couple thoughts actually because he was like, yeah, what did you desire most or something? Because he was like, I think that syringe turns you into the Trojan that you desire most to be or something, and he wanted to be a vulture. Uh, Tokyo. He's like, yeah, I guess that was just a pleasant memory. So I'm wondering what was Azuma's memory as to why he didn't get any like other sort of physical change.
Hmm.
Because he could have just his memory could have been like, I just want to be normal or not have no super speed or no strength or anything. So I don't know. I
Uh,
thought that's interesting.
yeah, I don't know either. Do you wanna do Jujutsu or Tower of God now?
We could do a little jujutsu. Yeah. So this was this was cool because we kind of got a history of domains. Higurama, he has a Shikigami and he uses a domain to span to right off the bat. And his domain, there's no violence in his domain. And we find that domains were more common in the past and they weren't always deadly. They were more so just to force people to use a set of rules and obey. So we find that constructing a domain is meant to be lethal. It requires immense skill. So that's why it kind of died out, like the lethality of the domains. So that was cool. And then my man Yuji goes on the stand, and he has three options where he can silence, confess, or denial, and they find him guilty. So then the fight starts ensuing, and Hagaramo's gavel, he can make it disappear and reappear. And it's funny because this man learned all this stuff in 12 days from becoming awakened, and he's comparable to a grade one sorcerer.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Yeah. So I was like, man, that's cool.
But it kind of makes me
And
feel like um learning that stuff about the domain, that like Yuji can actually do a domain. He's going about it with the wrong approach now.
yeah, I mean, if he had a domain, I would say it would do something like a domain where you have to fight but you can't kill, or a domain where you have to submit to get out or something along those lines.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Yuji gets hit like a confiscation, and because Yuji doesn't have a curse technique, it took away his cursed energy. So he just fighting him off of sheer physical prowess.
I feel
And the
like
guys,
I feel like that's very null and void like that's very contradictory when it comes to that guy's domain, because a lot of times in like a court situation, you get off on a technicality, and since technically Yuji doesn't have techniques, he should have been free from that consequence.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't make the rules of the domain. It kind of just does that way. Something has to be taken away, and that was probably the only thing that they could take away.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, and this is when Yuji it's like, oh, I I want a retrial, and then he gets a retrial.
Right before he got smashed by a giant fucking mallet.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, oh, I can't drag this out too long. This guy's incredibly strong. Yeah, and then so he gets a retrial, and he's like, yeah, I did it. He's like, I killed all those people. Um,
I won't deny it.
yeah, and then they start fighting, and they have flashback to a person asking Hikarumo if he wants to be the judge. He said he doesn't want to. He says people are weak and ugly, and then they find out that the evidence gets submitted beforehand, and Hikarumo knew about Sukuna. And then Yuji says, I killed him because I was too weak to stop Sukuna. And then he's like, okay,
This
your something about you's different.
he had a
You can
moment.
use
It's
my
like
100
this guy's
points.
all right.
Yeah. He's like, you can use my 100 points.
Put your clothes on. Let's
So,
have a seat.
yeah. And then you end with Hakuramo killing some people. So I was like, ooh, okay. Can't wait till the next episode.
Comes out tomorrow, I think.
I don't know. I don't keep up with this stuff.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Tower of God.
Yeah, so in this installment, Tower of God, Season 2, episodes 183 to 190. Bam heads towards this red goo that's dropping down. Yeon, she's like, I'm so calm around Bam, it doesn't make sense. And she's like, Bam, are you scared? And he says, yes. Because he seems so invincible. And then Evan is questioning why they would make a Slayer nominee compete against another Slayer nominee. And the copy that Sachi was fighting disappears. And then Sachi's like, oh, I feel like something bad's about to happen. And Daniel and Hopen talk. They start to fight. He tells Daniel he's going to become whole and use the souls on the train as energy. And then he's going to see Rowan because of the spell and then eat her again. And then he stabs Daniel. Sachi, Aka, and Boro show up and rescue Daniel. Hoquin wants them to kill himself in order to save Daniel. Sachi says he'll die but spare the other two. And then Bam makes a grand entrance.
My
It
man
says
Bam.
enough. Yeah, it says enough with the games. And then Kun is attacked right before the exit. And Rachel shows up to fight Kun. And then Rack and the crew shows up. And apparently, man Kun had been locking pipeways to lead them to him. And Rack was like, I was gonna kill a turtle if it wasn't a teammate that was doing that. So I was like, oh, that's smart thinking leads him right to him. He was
Genius.
like,
Khan's
well,
a fucking genius, bro.
yeah. He was like, yeah, the odds of leaving the stuff there. I figured it was gonna be our teammates that found us, and he was right. He wasn't wrong. And then Kun comes up with a plan to avoid fighting. It's a coin toss between him and Rachel. And then you flash back to Bam group, and Bam asks him what he did to lose his title as Slayer. And then he says, I killed 1 billion people. I was like, man, 1 billion.
That's it. I feel like if anything, that should have entitled you to Slayer.
Yeah.
But
And it's
Fug is not. Fug is portrayed as a really bad company, but they're not. They're like vigilantes. They don't have a problem
yeah.
with the tower. They just have a problem with the ruler of the tower, Jihad.
Yeah, the system that is in place. Yeah, so I think the title Slayer is a person that is going to oppose
Jihad.
jihad versus actually killing people. Which I think Bam will probably make a good Slayer because he doesn't want to kill people. He just wants what's right for people. So then Hoquin says his legend will begin again with the cutting of Bam's throat. And he starts swinging at Bam's throat, and my man Bam stops it like Goku stopped Trunks' sword. It's like, psh. And he's like, I can't let you on the loose anymore, Hoquin. You can't run rampant in this world. And then we find out Mr. White is actually from the Airy family, which is known for swords and such. And then Daniel tells Bam he has to defeat Hoquin before round three, and the spell will activate and kill everyone on board if he doesn't defeat him. And the train holds spirits of the dead, and then we flash back to Kun's group, and he flips a coin and leaves it up to the gods. So Kun wins the coin toss, and then Rachel cries foul, says he rigged it. Rachel tells him to flip again, and if he wins, she'll tell him about everything. He wants to know about Bam, her past, and what happened before they came there, and Bam's true identity. So Rachel flips it. It's tails. Kun says the best two out of three. He's like, we can't just leave it off the first one, which was interesting. I don't know why you did a coin toss anyway.
Cause
And
Kun is Kun, bro.
yeah, so he did that, and this is when Horquin's like, oh, he said Kun fixed the first round, and she says luck was in the second round, and the third round Rat gets to toss a coin. Like I think Horquin knew that Kun had a sleight of hand trick going on with the lighthouse or whatever he did. I was like, it's like okay, yeah, I can see that. So they toss Rat gets toss a coin. I think it's funny. He was like, how should I toss this to make this land heads, turtle? And
He said,
Kun just
just
like, just
toss it. Was like, how do I make sure you win?
yeah. And then so Flash to Bam. Oh well, no. Yeah, Kun had made it so that like they wouldn't have no choice but to be three. Like he said that orchestrated a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Rachel would have won the first toss, then she might have already won, but she didn't. So then we flash back to Bam, and he plans on using the sword to get the souls out of White's body. Everyone launches a combo attack, but doesn't matter because Hoquin already absorbed the souls, and the plan failed. And then we find that Hoquin had set up Rowan for a fall and was targeting him from the get go because he kind of had an ominous feeling about them, I suppose. And the last clone is in the room with the prince. The prince is like, what's that over there? I see them. And then so everyone finally gathers in the meeting room, and Bam tells Kun about White and the situation that's going on. And I guess I should have said, yeah, they won the last coin flip. So so then they decide to join in the game. Well, the game starts, and the clone shows up and does the whole spiel, and then she decides to join in the game and decides to help whoever she feels like. And this game's called Go to Hell, and you have to either save people, um, yeah, you have to save the people or forsake the hostage. And there's submarines that feed them into a giant goop that's gonna melt them at the bottom.
Now, with the amount of chapters you read, do you actually see the conclusion to this game?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. Keep on.
No, I don't know about the conclusion,
Oh,
but
you fucking piece of shit.
I see where it goes to because Bam wants to save everybody, but he might not have enough money.
Mm.
So I think the other clone's gonna jump in and help. But anyhow, back to my synopsis. So the submarines have one hostage at a time, and they go down the slide, and you might hit the boiling substance before it's too late. And while you're doing this, you can fight on the way down to save the hostage along the way. And you can there's certain gates you can open with dollars, but the closer you get to the bottom, the less dollars you need to open the gate. And they can raise and lower the height of the boiling substance and the timing of the freeing with points. And Rachel and Connor are chosen as operators to either raise the boiling liquid or open the submarine. So yeah. So Bam wants to save everyone, but he won't have enough dollars. Then we flash to the engineer and he tells the princess, Yuriha, the deal and the Slayer identity and all the other stuff. He thinks he's got her. But my man Evan has a surprise. He's like, "Oh, I got these glasses that record and send," and he sends away stuff to.
That you thought it was just a gag reel and he was just eating popcorn pretending to watch a 3D movie, but no, this bitch records.
Yeah. So, but it says like, "Oh, you can't record anything here. Nothing gets out." And it's like, "That's where you're wrong, because we're connected to the Infinite Eye, the Lighthouse Opera, Repelista Jihad." Yeah. So then it starts. Bam. He waits till 30 to save the prince, and then we get White's backstory, how he's the monarch and out of town, with a different culture, unaware of the existence of the inner tower and jihad, and had their own nations with kings. And he killed a corrupt king to seize his power, and then he left his kingdom to one of his closest followers, and then the corruption happened again. And then eventually he took the poor people away from the corrupt people and made the countries fight each other. So I was like, oh man, that's a bad guy. And then Bam gets so angry with bloodlust. So uh, one of Hoquin's people gets in the submarine and Bam saves him. I'm like, oh Bam, just gotta let people die. And Bam said he's gonna save everyone.
Bam's too
And
nice, man.
yeah. And he won't let them be sacrificed. And he says, yeah. And then we flash to Rachel and Kun, and Kun's like, "Oh, well," he's like, "I'm too nice. Being too nice is not good for my heart," which is also funny. And Kun's like, "Well, I'm gonna follow Bam's orders from here on out." So he's like, because he was talking to Rachel, he's like, "Well, you could have raised the boiling liquid and killed Bam in this instance, but you didn't do it." And she's like, "Nah." She's like, "You already know how this is gonna play out. What Bam's gonna do, and this, that, and the other." And Kun's like, "I'll follow Bam and leave everything up to him." And so it's like this way, it's like you'll be losing to Bam if you lose. And then Bam tells Hoquin the meaning of what sacrifice is for him. And Yuriha starts fighting the Fug Ranker, and she uses like uh Senshu punches. Kind of reminds me of White Guy's Hidoran or whatever it was with the air punches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he survives. And then we find there's a purple Dementor. And even the higher up rankers feared the purple Dementor. So that's where I got. That's where it ended. Yeah.
How you feeling about it?
You know, I think it's better than One Piece so far. It took
That's
a little
fair.
while to get in there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I see you feeling that way. That's fair.
Yeah, it's way better than One Piece.
Too much.
Maybe it's just enough.
No, that was too much.
You're too much.
Whatever, man. Yeah, Tower God. It's actually where you're at is kind of ironic because where me and Clutch are at right now is I can't really say to you, but like it's funny that you're where you're at and where we're at.
You could. I don't care. I don't care about nothing.
Nope, not doing it. Don't care.
Hey, Sota-san. Or Ota-san.
Right. One episode of Uramichi because I forgot to watch the next two.
Yep. So, Life lessons Uromichi. Long hot summer.
I like this episode anyway.
Yeah, that was a good one. Kids are hilarious.
It's like my man was actually freezing when he was trying to look unbothered the whole time. He was fucking freezing cold.
He was a champ boy. Yeah, so they had to for this have to shoot a music video in the middle of winter, and they wanted to smash a watermelon for some reason, but it's out of season, so
And
they
it turned
decided to
into
paint it.
yeah
Paint
to
yeah,
go
paint a
gourd.
gourd,
And they're
and
in.
he's looking like a psycho.
He's like, better idea. How about I smash her head to the bunny and everyone's just praying for him.
Yeah, he's like, don't act like I'm already dead. Yeah, so that happens. Yeah, the rabbit got punched. Well, I think he choked him inside the suit.
I thought he was just touching his neck with the cold hands.
Yeah, I think in one he like touched his neck or choked him or something, and then I think that the other one he like pinched his cheek, and
Mm.
then yeah, and then the other one they had to play in water and
Yo,
shoot with the yeah the
I
Nerf
like
stuff.
I like how the bear was like missing with the water gun, and then like the bunny is like, if I hit him, he'll kill me. If I hit him, he'll kill me. If I hit him, he'll kill me. Proceeds to splash him in the face. I
Yeah,
think that's where the uppercut came.
it did, and he because it was funny because the bear guy he's an archer shot he was an archer and he like artfully missed him, and the bear, and then the bunny guy was a high jumper, and he couldn't high jump out the way of the uppercut, so they
Nope.
made parallels to that.
And the director said like this would be the part where we look in amazing fireworks, but we don't have the budget for that, so we'll just CG it. So pretend to look happy, and I'm just like in my head, I was like, wouldn't CG be more money than fireworks?
Yeah,
I was so confused. I was like, wait.
and everyone was like, "Couldn't you just CG the whole thing?" like,
And then I'm still like,
like,
but no budget. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. So that happened, and Ikateru comes down with a cold, and this was my other thing I had. Um,
Is it the kids or before they go out there?
the kids, because one of the kids is like, he's like, oh,
So for
oh,
attention. And then the other
he,
girl was like, that's a toxic character trait.
no, before that, it was like one of the kids like, oh, it's like, oh, they finally fired him. I was like, damn. And then so yeah, then one of the kids like, yeah, that's his bacteria comes out, and that's when the kid talks about the toxic character trait. I was like, damn.
He was just doing it for attention. And
Yeah,
then he was like,
calls him a loser, and then says he
he could have just won, but instead he chose pedal
yeah
rivalry instead. And the kid was like, that was blunt. And then the girl was like, this guy's ruthless.
yeah. He was like pedal rivalry when you could have conquered everything, and then they finally go out drinking.
I actually did
And
like one of the quotes that came out in this episode, and it was the guy who got sick was apologizing to Uramichi, but like it seemed forced, and Uramichi was like, "If you're not doing it for you, you don't need to try so hard."
yeah,
I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, I didn't think
yeah,
about it. It's not that good of a quote because like if you're doing it for someone, you should give it your all. But you know,
mm, maybe that's how you feel on the inside.
I don't
Mm,
know.
maybe, but anyhow, yeah, they go out for drinks, and she uh what did I see here? Yeah, they want to stand in or something, or they were supposed to have a stand in. I think the kids kind of um they knew it wasn't who it was supposed to be, and they were like, "Oh, we want the other guy. This guy sucks for some reason. We just can't tell why."
Yeah,
It's like,
before
damn.
that, they were like, he was like, um, what if I try my best to play Kumao, will people respect me? Or Michi's like, I won't. It's like, didn't think so.
Hmm.
And then,
Yeah.
so he tried and failed. And like they could tell he was like a little taller, blah blah blah. He wasn't like a cheerful character, and he came back out, and he was like, damn it, I'm just gonna be me. And I'm like, is that the bunny's head on the bear's body?
Yeah, that messed the kids all up. I was like, dang. Yeah, back to the drinking. She calls herself a dumpster fire, and she's like, I never thought I'd be a basic 30-year-old that would want to imagine herself right now getting married and this stuff. I'm like, dang, that's terrible. But also on the same time, I've seen that. I felt that. That was real.
Mm.
So, but yeah, so that was it. Not much of the episode. I would do episode 5 and 6, but it is what it is. But yeah, on to ReZero because we watched all three of those episodes though.
Yo, ReZero's fucking lit though.
Yeah, it's okay.
ReZero's like Game of Thrones level with the fucking surprises.
Yeah, I think it's better than One Piece.
Yeah. You think everything's better in One Piece? Shut the fuck up.
Not everything.
Everything we talk about, it's like definitely better than One Piece.
Not everything we talk about.
Mm.
But yeah.
So, Subaru is training with the old guy that was with Catman.
Felix.
Felix. And we
Sword
find
training
out
with
that
Will, the
I, I
demon swordsman.
I don't understand why or how this was the case, but they were saying that Julius was protecting Subaru.
Which one's Julius again?
Julius was the knight that challenged him to the duel.
Oh yeah, because of the rigorous training. Yeah.
And it was just like I was wondering why Rem was still with Subaru, and like you can tell he was still upset about everything, and he seemed very conflicted about like his current situation, but he was being honest about it, and the green hair lady invited him to drink, and he was like, "Nah, I'm too young to drink." She was like, "Then just have water." So we find out that Cruchet, her name's Cruchet.
Yes.
And I was wondering why Miss Cruchet was helping Subaru, and it turns out she was contracted to do so by Emilia to like help him recover until he's fully healed. And I'm just like, Subaru is still trying to get to Emilia, but he's not thinking about apologizing for what he said. I was like, yo, bro, like, you should be thinking about apologizing. You're a piece of shit right now.
Yeah.
And he has a very foolish and stubborn personality sometimes, and he just doesn't want to be understanding about like anything. But
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, so I also had some notes here. He goes to town to shopkeeper and dig into that spat because he's like he was like talking at Subaru, but he was also talking for like effect of the people around, saying that people, even though she's a great girl, people won't give her a chance because she's an elf. But I don't think he feels that way about that.
but he
And
also
also,
he also said like, why would I trust her?
yeah, I mean, she did return your daughter to him, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Then
yeah,
I think this is like when Subaru decides that he's gonna go back, and like they can't sleep. I think this is where I'm talking about. I should write better notes, but
you should.
what was going on? What was going on?
This is
Rem is her
the
name.
healing gate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rem like leaned on his back and started healing him, and I
I
think he was starting.
before that it was yeah. Before that was when Felix was healing him, And that was gonna be my other moment when they kind of had him in a sandwich. I was like, oh, look at you go, Subaru and Rim.
But in
So
this one, it was just Rem because they decided to head back, and they couldn't sleep. So she put him to sleep and admitted her feelings to him, but like he was already fast asleep, and like she got him blushing a little, but
mm,
like he finally passed out and she ditched him.
yeah,
But like Amelia is not hopeless without Subaru. I don't know where he gets this misconception on like he's everything.
that's what he wants to be. He wants to be like Visa, everywhere you where she is.
Yeah,
but uh, but yeah, but the whole reason they left was because Rem sensed the trouble with Rom.
for a split instant.
Yeah, and then it fleeted and disappeared, and then they didn't know.
And then like Subaru shows up into the village where like he was with all the kids and everything, and like everyone's dead. There's like a pile of burned bodies. Like he's freaking out. He runs to the castle. Ren is dead on the front lawn, and you see her mace or whatever the thing's called.
Yeah,
And he runs into
everyone's dead.
he runs into the castle, and Rom's dead with a kid in his arms, and he finds a secret passageway that's like frozen in ice, and I'm pretty sure that's Amelia who did that. I don't know if she's dead. I just think he can't reach her because he died. He froze to death when he touched the handle and stood down there too
Yeah,
long. And then boom, he wakes
it's
up
reincarnated.
and he just loses his fucking mind.
Yep, goes comatose.
And this is where I'm very confused. Why did he lose his mind? Like you were at the worst possible outcome that could have happened when you went back there. Shouldn't you have been happy you died and like got a chance to prevent it?
Well, it's funny you say that because the one guy was like, "Why are you acting like you lost your mind?"
Yeah, yeah.
So he could not. He might not have lost it, but then he might have.
Are you talking about the sloth Sid?
Yeah,
I like that guy. I can't wait till we get to him.
yeah.
I,
But
I don't.
that's later on. You can
Yeah,
you
I
can
really
finish up
like
your
him. I really found him
synopsis.
fucking annoying at the same time.
Yeah.
um. Oh my god, what did I even try to write there? I know what I meant to say, but holy shit. Anyways,
Yeah.
he should.
So
So I'm thinking like he should be used to dying, but okay. Um, we figure out they're witch cultists, and they stole Rom's horn. Because Rem goes back without him. No, I'm remembering wrong. Go
yeah.
ahead, help me out, Irby.
All right. So I guess a little bit before that, um, you kind of find cringe the actual Rom what a Subaru is to her, and it's like kind of like a massive service, but it's like it's more like a woman views loves a man, So she kind of sees the feelings there, and she just says Subaru is special to her, and she likes spending time with Subaru, and they go and they get stopped by the horn. They get stopped by the hoods, the witch's cult, Sloth Man, and then he's like, I like his eyes or something, and then so they attack and they capture him, and then they shackle him up in the cave, and he's like, why do you pretend your mind is broken? Then Rem shows up to save Subaru in the lair, and
Bro,
Sloth freezes Rem, and then I thought he snapped her neck, but apparently
before
she was
that,
still alive.
before that, we're gonna get to that. Before that, so dude goes, all right. We find out that they stole Ram's horn because, like, when they both show up there, Rem's trying to protect Subaru, and then they finally abduct him, and we meet the Slofson. His name is Petal Goose, something like that. Petal Goose. And he asked if Subaru was pride, the pride sin, and it fucking confused me. I should have looked up the meaning of that, but I looked up the meaning of sloth sin, and sloth sin literally means failure to do what one should do. So that's pretty much what he meant when he said the dragon horse thingy died. Like, the dragon horse job is to bring someone from one spot to another, and since he couldn't do it, he failed to do something he was meant to do. And it was the definition of sloth. And then,
Yeah.
like, he's trying to figure out why the hell Subaru's acting like he lost his mind. And he was like, I'm treating you so kindly. And I'm like, but you have him chained up. But
Yeah.
here's a line that he said that I really like, because then he did that thing to Rem and twisted her up, and fuck it was brutal. It was fucking brutal. I just like I almost felt that. I was like, oh my god, Rem, no. And then he goes to Subaru, with my arms, with my fingers, it was you, it was you, it was you. And I was like, bro, that voice actor fucking delivered that line really well. The way he was blaming
Yeah.
Subaru for like Rem dying. But like then the way he treated Rem, I was like, oh my god, why are you going so far, dude? Why is she floating? Why did you twist? Oh my god. And then like Rem wasn't dead and was crawling the Subaru because she wanted to save him and like used the little bit of magic she had left to free him. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So Subaru picks up Rem and carries her to the castle, and like you can tell his mind wasn't, he was, yeah, I think Pedo Goose was right. He wasn't, his mind wasn't gone because he remembered his name. But I don't recall him actually saying his own name, so how did he know him?
I don't know.
And then that big furry creature, I thought it was Puck in the end.
It sounded like Puck.
It did, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and if you actually watch the credits and watch Subaru and Rem, you see their body freeze over. I don't know if you actually watched the credits.
I did. Did you see that? What the voice was like? Yeah, the voice says "sleep along with my daughter" and like cuts off his head or something. Or is that
Yeah, it was
the
just like,
next
and
one?
that's when I thought it was Puck. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And the next episode was no different. I'm like, what is going on in this shit, bro?
Yeah.
Like, they're just hitting you back and forth. Like, where'd Pedo Goose come from? Who's the big fucking creature? Is that Puck? Who's Puck's daughter if that's Puck? Who is that? Why? Oh my god, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And, like, it's bothering me that I don't know what's going on because I have to wait a week to even fucking talk about it and see it.
Yeah.
So, then I get really confused in the third episode after he comes back again because, like, the beginning shouldn't have changed much because it's where he starts over. But then we find the shady merchant guy for the first time. And I'm just like, how have you not run into him? Like, he has been coming here every time the last
Well,
couple.
it's a little different because he actually goes to help, ask for help this time for Cruciate, and then she's like, "Well, if I help, Amelia has to drop out," and then
And then I'm like,
she's
Subaru agreed to that. I'm like, you should have no authority to forfeit Amelia's candidacy.
he doesn't. But that's a later theme for later, and she's like, "It's not gonna do anything different for me if I help or not help."
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she's kind of like, "How do you know this is going to happen?" And then it's like, "Are you part of the witches, whatever, the witches cult?" So
And
it just leads to more questions.
then he divides a plan. He's like, Rem, you go ask the knights for help. I'll go see if I can find help with like the other candidates or some shit like that. And we meet the orange hair lady again, whom he came across
Priscilla.
before. Yeah. And she seemed like you know she was like in it for herself type of person, but she seemed like, okay, I kind of like this guy is entertaining enough. I definitely won't make him lick my feet and then kick him in the face.
But that's exactly what she does.
That's exactly what I'm like. Why'd you tell him to look? Listen, I wouldn't have licked your feet, but like, he was
I
desperate enough to lick your foot.
I feel like in that she was testing him. It was just a test.
to put his value. You know, I think you're right, but like, yo, she just straight up kicks him and then throws him across the room, and then her knight. I like her knight. I like her knight. He's got like such
Yeah,
a bro vibe.
he doesn't have any like resolve. I guess like is like he doesn't have a backbone because I feel like if he was like, no, I'm not kissing your feet. I want help. I'm not kissing your feet. She might be like, okay, I respect that. I'll help you now. But he was like, I'll kiss your feet, whatever it takes. I gotta just do it. And she's like, no.
He just
She was like, she tells him he doesn't have any loyalty nor devotion,
and purple hair
and says,
candidate. Do you know her
yeah, it
name?
says it's pig greed. What Anastasia Hoshi?
I guess the purple hair one.
Yeah, yeah,
She she schooled him. She like fucked him. She fucked him, but she schooled him. And it was like you have no idea. You're approaching negotiations wrong. Like you're not. You're laying all your cards on the table. You're just focused on what you want rather than how you can get what you want by offering the other person what you want. And like he was so absorbed, and like I was amazed by this. I'm like, you were so absorbed in trying to get what you want, you didn't notice that you were surrounded by her people.
yeah. And
Like they were
she also,
everywhere. It wasn't just like they were behind you; they were fucking everywhere, Irby.
yeah. And she was like, if you want to convince someone you're righteous, you have to do something to merit it. And she's like, I don't get that sense from you. So I was like, dang,
So,
she's right.
but like she gave him a way to get like a carriage, I guess, and like they start going and they run into that one guy that he got to drive him when Rem left him, and like they were just gonna get all the villagers to leave. And I'm wondering, like, how are you going to do that? How are you going to convince people to leave their home? I'd love to see this fucking happen. And then
Yeah.
the guy to his left disappears, which is actually his right, but like from where we're watching it, it's his left. And he goes on and was like, "What happened to the guy right there?" And there was never a guy there. What are you talking about? We're in the front. And then you see the whale show up that they mentioned an episode ago. That like if the whale finds you, you'll be lost forever or some shit like that. And I'm just like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is going on? It's just one thing after another. Like first it's the cultist, then it's the fucking giant ass puck looking thing with a daughter that's dead, and then it's the fucking whale. Like he's gonna die, I'm assuming, but like what the hell is going on? I don't understand right now. I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good. I was like, okay. Subaru Natsuki.
Bro,
It's gonna get ate up.
that was like I think those were my favorite 3 episodes since we started this.
Dang.
Just like the pure shock factor and like how confused it left me. It left me.
Mm-hmm. Fusing. Mm-hmm.
But you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up, Irby?
No, dog. I don't have nothing. Nothing to say. Stay in school, kids.
Yo, Clutch. Watch ReZero, man. I know you're already thinking about it, but like, I need you to watch this. I caught up with ReZero, Tokyo Revengers. You know, I read it. So like, I think you should just start watching 3 episodes a week for us. so so that you're not far. I just don't want you to get ahead of us so that you can't say shit and tell me like, yo, bro, wait till you get to this episode because I'm gonna hate that. So I need you to just like catch up and like watch it with us so we can talk about it. Cause oh my god, man, it's so good. I like it. I love it. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Irby, I'm about to close this out. You sure anything? Nothing?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.